Well, I decided to take a ride out to the Everglades today on Black Friday, and apparently it's hunting season. See them all lined up waiting to get in for ducks and whatnot. We'll go in here in the non-hunting area and see how many ducks we see. They usually push all that stuff out into these non-hunting areas. See if you see any gators. A lot of people fishing on the bridge here. Let's have a little fun. Nice day, just about 81 degrees. There's a lot of traffic around here with people, so we're probably not going to see much right here. Wait till we get a little further down the road, the off-road area, and see what we see down there. Check back with you in a little bit. Alright, so here we're coming into the boat ramp area. See if there's any activity in here. Doesn't look like it, which surprises me a little bit. Really nothing to speak of. Very surprising. So many people out here today and hunters, I would have expected to see some activity. It's a bicycle rider. Not sure where he's going. Across the bridge, I'm sure. Again, the nice boat launchers. Somebody with a boat. And another bicycle. Well, I'll say it again. I'm surprised. Alright. I already set myself up for my off-road mode, but my clock is not updating, so I'm going to take a look at that. And then we'll go out and do a little off-road ride out in front of us here out to the west. Alright, here we are off in the dirt area. Let's take a look here. Let's go down here. This usually is closed, but I notice it's open. But I don't think it goes very far. I think you can just go a little ways and then it just sort of stops. But I don't think I've ever filmed it before. So let's see what we got here. So this is still the Everglades, Francis Taylor, but we're on the south side of the road. And you can see that where that truck's coming. That's where we normally go. And we'll probably come back to going over there too. We'll take this one for a little ride. So with respect to the clock setting, and since my world of learning never stops, so the GPS is supposed to update the clock automatically on the bike, but I think my batteries needs replacement on my GPS. So sometimes, like today, when I fired up the bike, the GPS doesn't come on, and you ride it for an hour, stop the bike, you go to turn the bike back on, GPS comes on. And that's what happened. But I didn't shut my bike off. I shut the bike down, the motor, but I didn't shut off the power switch. So the GPS was showing the correct time, but the bike still was not updating, and that's what I wanted to stop and look at. So I double checked the GPS. Sure enough, it's showing the correct time. And I shut it off all the way, shut the ignition off, let it go its 30 seconds until everything turned off. Gave it a minute, turned it back on. Sure enough, updated just fine. This kind of reminds me on my Mac the other day, I had all these problems where all of a sudden the phone and the iPad and the laptop were not all syncing with iMessages. And I started going berserk, digging into it, trying to update and find things, and in the end of the day, it probably wasn't anything with me. It was probably the Apple server was down or something was down momentarily, because I don't think I actually ultimately accomplished anything, but then started working the next day. So rule number one, be patient. All right, looks like somebody had a campfire down there. So for the longest time, this road was closed. And you can see down to the south, it's pretty nice. It get through some of this stuff here. It just kind of goes forever. Nothing really down there. It actually does go for a good ways down there into other Everglades. I think all the way down to 41 and all that, Highway 41. So it's a pretty neat road. So this is an interesting view. So this road's obviously a little higher than I'm sitting here talking to you and trying to look to the right. Well, I'm not really watching where I'm going, but I've got my speedway backed off to about 35. But in any event, so this road's higher than the other road and a little further away from the canal. And this is one of the reasons I don't bother taking this road usually. Just can't see the canal as well. And most of the gators I see are on this side of the canal, the south side of the canal. So if I'm riding that north road, I can see them. But if they wanted to get out of the water and sun, because now it's winter here and it has been a little bit cool in the evenings, they're probably going to come out on this side. And I think on the, I don't know if I posted it yet, but on my last ride out here, not on this road, but on the northbound road up in front of us about 10 miles, there were all kinds of drag marks going directly across the road. And I had seen some snakes on that ride, but snakes would not be leaving pretty much a straight trail. So I was thinking it might be gator tails, but I didn't see any claw marks with them, so I'm still kind of perplexed at what they were, because they were almost exactly straight across the road and almost exactly straight with no feet marks. That was weird. Got to be an answer to it. Post below if you know. Anyway, well, not a whole lot to look at here other than the beauty of the day. Not a cloud or nary a cloud in the sky. Again, it's about 81 degrees. And just going to kind of relax, keep the speed back, and see if we see anything interesting. Alright, as we cruise down the road, I thought I would monologue about a couple of other things. First of all, where we are is pretty much directly underneath the practice area for general aviation pilot training. I know this because my son has been going through private pilot training, and just a few days ago got his private pilot license. And I was kind of tracking him, watching him fly around on his check ride. He was a little bit north of here, from about right here to a little north of here, this general area out here, so I thought that was kind of neat. Second thing is, I may be wrong about this road. Maybe this road, I'm still on the same road I was on, south side of the canal, heading westbound. This road may go all the way to the pump station. I'm just now starting to see the pump station out in front of us. I doubt you can see it in the camera. It's still a couple miles out there. But maybe it ends up over there. I have to try to remember. I can't remember since I rarely take this side. And the other thing I wanted to mention is, I'm not sure if there's a season for it, but 1 or 2 times a year I'll see a lot of vehicles out here camping. And they camp on this side. Right down here, usually they'll, if they can with their trailers and stuff, they'll get in this little lower bluff down here. There's a couple places where it gets down pretty close, and you know, you could get over there with the trailer. You're not going to do it in a motorhome, but not a big Class A anyway, but certainly can do it in a truck or that kind of camper, or maybe if you have a small trailer. This is kind of high and off camber right here, but there are other places where you can, it's a little softer and you can get down there. But it looks kind of neat. You know, this time of year, it's really nice. In the middle of the night, it's the mid-60s, and daytime high, which is, we're at a little after 1 o'clock, so we're pretty much at the daytime high right now. It says 81.5 on my thermometer here, my digital stuff. Pretty nice day for that. So I am getting closer to the pump station. So it's either going to be really good news that we can go through at the pump station on this side of the road too, or really bad news that we're going to have to turn around and ride this road all the way back and get on the other side of the road. I seem to recall that I've never had to turn around on this road. There's only one road I've had to turn around on. I'll show it to you up here. I'm sure I've mentioned it in almost in the other videos where I've come up on this area. But once we go north, we usually take the canal that's on the west side. I did take the canal on the east side once, and it only goes for a few miles, and then it just sort of dies out into some government, I don't know whether it's antennas or whatever's going on in there, some area, and then you have to turn around and backtrack. But other than that, that's the only place I've had to backtrack here. So I'm pretty sure this is going to go through it the most. Alright, here we come up on the pump station, so let's check out and see what happens. Now normally we would be on the north side there, and we would cross that bridge here to the south. So this drives right up into it. Look at that. I'll be darned. Let's see if there's a gate up here. Because like I said, this side of the road tends to be closed, or was closed for the longest time. I don't even see a gate here. Alright, so we're going to turn left here, which would be where we come through here. This is how we cross. There's my famous picnic table that I can't get to. Oh look, there's people have stuff on it. No people, but stuff's on it. But it's all locked down for the government only people. They don't want to share with us normal people, peons. I was also going to mention that today I am trying out some of my new gear. I have only worn this stuff for one ride, so this will be the second ride with this gear. Come back to that in a second. Let's figure out what we want to do here. I think we're going to go out, we'll continue out to the west here for a little bit. We haven't done that recently. So up here we got decision time. We can continue going straight, which goes up towards Lake Okeechobee, or we can go west, which kind of goes out into Indian land. We'll do the Indian land today. See how it's going, see how the fishing is here. So Rotenberger. We'll see what happens. I see some fishing, the truck there. So I've got my Alpinestar boots on, the low boots, which I'll show you. I'll see if I can take a little video for this video here. I wore them on the previous time, and because I wear my other boots are why can't I think of the name of them right now? The Italian made ones. I guess these are Italian made too, but anyway, I'll think of the name in a minute. I'll put it on the video here anyway. Forma, that's it, Forma. My other Forma boots, they're a little lower than these boots. I have the low Forma boots, which I love. They're great. And I wear low socks with them too. So I wore these boots the first time, and all I had was the low socks. So like the top 3 inches of the boot were over the top of the sock. And because these boots are much stiffer than the Formas, which has its good and bad attributes. That was a gator. It just rubbed my shins raw. I mean, literally bleeding. My both shins were bleeding from the boots. It was a sore day. Also, I had a hard time shifting because these boots are a little beefier in the toe section, and I was having a hard time getting underneath the shifter. So I did go on Amazon. I bought some nice Under Armour socks that come up a little taller. I'm wearing them today, and they are comfy. No shin issues at all. The boots have been very comfortable. I have been in them now for how many miles? I think about 60 miles, of which about a little over 10 is off-road. The rest was steep street riding getting here, and they're very comfortable. I can feel they're breaking in a little bit because I can shift better. However, I still have the same shifting issue because these boots are a little more stout in the toe section. That's gonna be a little bit of a problem for me because I don't want to adjust the foot pegs or the shifter because my Formas shift okay. But I'll have to take my Formas out and give them a little shot and see if I can make a little adjustment and won't hurt for the Formas. Let's see if I can get by this guy's truck. If he can let me by. That was nice of him. Goodbye that. And then the other piece of apparel that I'm wearing today that's new and has only been worn one previous occasion is my Klim trousers. And this is my memories going today. I don't remember what they're called, but I believe it's the only pair they have that's vented. So they're vented, and then they've got like lamb skin and whatever where the wear spots are. So I wore them on the previous trip. Now I found them. People had made some complaints that the knees don't rest at the right place. I think they're saying that when they're walking around. But when you walk around in these things, the knees are down in the shins. But once you get on the bike, as you can see for me, they're right on the knee. It's not an issue. I will say that the other trousers that I got from Revzilla, for the moment, I like a little better. And I apologize. I'm going to put the brand names here in the video. I'm not. They're an off-brand, and I just can't remember the name of them. But I really like them. I bought those first. I tried them on. From the second I tried them on, look all the ducks that none of the hunters are getting. They fit great. They vent excellent. They've got more venting space, and all the area that are the wear areas are reinforced like Kevlar fabric. On these Klims, they tend to use a little more of a soft leather. I haven't worn these Klims enough to tell you which ones I like better. I'll tell you that the Klims are much baggier. That was another complaint. It's not a complaint for me. I like things that fit loosely by and large. The other vented pants that I have, that I got from Revzilla, they fit much more snug, but not so snug that they're uncomfortable. They're just very form-fitting, whereas these are a little looser. But I think that's kind of standard with the Klim stuff. Like this jacket I'm wearing, which I've had for years, their vented jacket, mesh jacket. I remember reading a pretty funny review that said, if you're a slender guy, you're going to find this jacket baggy. But if you're a beer drinking, beer swilling guy with a belly, you're probably going to be fine with it. Well, I do like my beer. I don't think I'm too overweight, but I got a little bit of a pouch. But it's still a little bit baggy on me. But I got a laugh out of it because I have an Alpinestar jacket, mesh jacket, which is very form-fitting. And when you put it on, it fits like a glove, which is mostly nice, but at times it's just a little bit of an annoyance. Whereas this thing, I put it on, and it's just comfort. It's plenty snug enough that the elbow pads, the spine pad, everything's in the right place. And it's a little baggy if you got to wear some sort of undergarment when it's cooler outside. But I would say that would be a pretty fair review of these pants too. If you are a real skinny guy, you probably aren't going to like these Klim vented pants. They are a little bit on the baggy side, which I find to be okay. They're maybe even a little bit baggy for my standards. But as far as the complaints about, who stitched the knee pads, why are they so low? Hey, get on a bike. They'll fit fine once you're on a bike. They come right up. If you're walking around, what is that? It's something running in the road. Let's see what's running in the road. I don't know, is that mink? Let's see if we can see it here. Probably can't see it once it goes down in the bushes here. Right here somewhere. No, he's down in the deep bushes. Didn't get close enough to see that. Anyway, so Klim pants don't vent as well. There's not as much vented area. So if you're down here in South Florida like me in the dead of summer, I'm probably not going to be wearing these. I'll be wearing the other ones. But like right now, where the temperature is 81 degrees, the vented ones are almost a little too cool. Well, it's not 81 degrees. They're probably not too cool, but 77, 78. They actually, they get a little bit cool, and these will work a little better. Right now, these are just about right. They're probably just a little bit on the warm side, and it's as I said, 80. Let me go back to my thing here and find out what the temperature is here. So it's calling it 82.4. So that's probably why they're just, I wouldn't call them hot, just a little tiny bit on the warm side. All right, monologuing over. So we saw one animal on the side of the road. I don't know what it was. didn't get a good enough look at it. I did look online and I did see there were mink out here, because on the other side, on the east side of 27, I went out on a road there and I saw these two animals. They were about 150 yards away, and they were out there for several minutes, and I finally decided to get my binoculars out, and of course as soon as I did that they ran off the road. But it's like, they look like mink to me. I looked online, sure enough, in the Everglades, they apparently live out here, so that's what I suspect they were. I mean, they didn't look like anything else. Alright, well, usually I see a fair amount of gators out here. So I kind of want to leave the camera on, but at the same time, I don't want you to hear the battery dead. Everybody that knows about these Sena 10C cameras knows the batteries don't last long. But I did bring a spare battery with me, and I put them in my pocket, and then I plug it directly in the camera. But I find that the camera then doesn't function correctly. Kind of does weird things if you try to use it while it's also charging. But we'll probably play with that a little bit today again, because I suspect, since I'm doing more of this than the GoPro, that I'm probably going to run this camera dead. So we're southbound now. We're taking this little jog on the road, which is going to take us out to a highway. We'll end up crossing the highway and continuing south on the dirt road. But what I like down here is the canals are so close to the road, and the road is elevation wise, it's just a few feet above the canal. It's really neat. Here I have one on both sides, which I find interesting. You'll see it a little bit here, is they actually have it fenced in the canal too. They have horses and other animals. I don't know if this is leased or private property off the left, but you see the fence there goes down into the water. They're keeping everything in there. So there's a canal off the left, and then the main canal here, I think they're pumping from or into, is here off my right. But I always expect to see gators here, because they almost effortlessly would barely have to do anything to get out of the water, but I really don't see that much. All the times I come out here waiting to see my gators, and I just don't see much out in this particular canal. Interesting. So we're heading west again, and right up in front of us we'll make another left turn, and that'll take us down to highway that's out in this area, which we're out in a pretty rural area. And we'll get back to you on that. Alright, so we're southbound again, coming up on Billie Highway here. And this is the road that we're on here is called the Huff Bridge Road. So what we're going to do is we're going to come out on Billie Highway for just a brief period. I believe it's still called Huff Bridge Road. I think it's the continuation of that. It's going to turn right, which is south again, right here in front of us. So I don't even think we went a mile up the road. I don't think there's even a road sign here. But there's the canal, so that's the giveaway. That's it. And we'll just press on down this road. Now we're going to go for just a little ways on this road southbound. We're southbound right now. And then the road's going to turn back out to the west again. This is kind of a neat ride. It's going to take us out to another bridge and another canal. And also in the midst of this somewhere we will transition to the Indian reservation land. I think we're still on Florida public land where we are right here. And you see we've gotten, well, I guess it's about the same. It's even lower elevation to the canal. We get right on top of the canal. I'm not going to take it today, but I did take one of these roads earlier, actually right where this truck is parked at this bridge. There's two roads, one just north of it and one just south of the bridge. And I took the one on the north side. And believe me, you could barely call it a road, but some of that, you're only probably maybe 18 inches above the water. it was a pretty fun road to take. So I took this one right here. It's a pretty neat road. We're not going to take it today. I have a previous video of that road. I did not take this road, but it's the same basic terrain going the same place, just on the southern side of the canal. So I took it because I think the first time I was out here I wasn't sure which road I was supposed to be taking, and I started down that road and realized this can't possibly be it. So I turned around and came a little further south, and sure enough I came up on the correct road, which is the one we're going to take today. But then in a later ride out here I decided I'd be a little more daring and take that road, which I did. And like I say, it only goes for about a mile or so, and then it's not even a road after that. You're just kind of riding on the road sort of comes back because it's not well traveled, but about half of it you're not even on a road. You're just kind of riding on the grass. Okay, so here's the main road here. One of these days I'm going to keep going straight. I haven't gone straight. I don't know how far down that goes. We will do that ride soon. So we're heading back out west here. You can see a little canal down here off my left. And I think in here is where we're going to transition to the Indian land. But this is a real nice ride. If you're a novice off-road rider, everything I've done today is very easy. Coming off of 27, it has not been raining, so there's not any mud, no mud holes as you've seen. There's no real deep sand. This road here is going to have a little bit of sand on it, but nothing to worry about. You probably just want to slow your pace a little bit, take it easy. But as you can see, it's a nice big road. I'm just cruising at 50. So if you're a novice person, you just take it easy at 30-35 miles an hour and enjoy the scenery. Alright, I will get back to you when we get a little further up the road. Well, just right before I was getting ready to turn the camera on, some nice turkey came out and flew off. No toms though, just hens, but some real pretty ones. Good color for hens. Alright, so this antenna in front of us kind of marks the spot for where we're going to transition to northbound. We're still pretty much westbound, and it's also the canal, big canal here. We'll stay on the main road here. We can transition and go closer to the canal. There's the right turn coming right up in front of us here. And like I say, that antenna kind of, when you see the antenna, you know this turn's coming. So right on the other side of all these trees is where the canal is. I'm going to peek. You can see it through here, and we could continue. You can see right through there is the road, and right on the other side of that road is a pretty big canal. We'll see it up here. We'll get up here. This is the main road. I was just going to drive up the main road, but that's the road for the canal right there. So we're right on it, and I'll come back with you when we come up on the bridge. It's a big bridge here. Alright, you kind of see on this road why they sand it. It's gets down or gravel it or whatever. So here's the bridge, and this is called, what's that called? Secondary or South Boundary Road. So we could have crossed over and just come up this road right here on the canal, but I just chose to stay out on the main road. And here's the canal, and here's the bridge. And I think at this point, if we haven't already, we're transitioning to Indian land. Oh, there's a couple turkey right over there. I don't know what those couple in the middle of the road are, but those are vultures in the middle of the road. But off to the side over there, probably can't see them in the camera. Guess we're not close enough to scare them out. So we're now heading kind of northwest, and then we're going to transition to the left here a little bit, and just I don't know, maybe a mile. It's a big canal here though. So this is Indian land, and this kind of starts the more aggressive part of this journey. So if you're a novice, you're probably going to be going a little slower through here and picking your way. And if it gets wet out here, if you come out here after it's been raining, it can be a bit of a challenge. And I probably would recommend, see all this dried out from being a big mud pit. If you were just learning how to ride, you probably would not want to do this in the rain, or if it just stopped raining or whatever. It should be pretty easy today. So this is the time of year where there hasn't been any rain. This is nice because there's usually almost never anybody out here. Of course, I say that, and there's that truck on the north side. Now, I think on the north side there must be some private property or something, because I usually see people out there with their cars fishing and stuff. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe it's all res land, but there's a house right there. That's pretty nice when that almost looks like paid for by the res or the government or something. Nice hut. Look at that hut in there. Wow. Nice place. Big wrought iron fence. So right now this road's pretty nice, but it gets pretty ruddy and muddy and sandy. You can see, you probably can't see well through the camera, but as we go through these kind of low areas, it's all dried up mud. Oh, that's not a car. That's some sort of UTV on the other side. Wonder what kind. Get up next to him, we can probably see. At least this is even still wet here. I don't know how this could be wet because it hasn't been raining out here in days. You see some trailers in there. I don't know that I've seen that. There's horse trailers and live-in trailer. I'm gonna see one hut in there. But I'm seeing all the mud puddles that I have to go through. I'm actually surprised. Hopefully, the reason I turned the camera back on is because some of this is still holding water up here. And like, look at that big mud thing. So that's all filled with water, and you can't even see it coming in the rainy months. All this stuff up here, it's just basically wet across the road. See, I don't even, how is this holding water up here? It hasn't even been raining, and that kind of gives you a feel for how treacherous this is. I mean, for me, normally I'm going through here at about, I don't know, 25 miles an hour, and the bike's just fishtailing the whole way. You know, it's you're throwing up mud. I look like a big mud pie when I get home. So I'm always surprised at how much more wet. So here we are out in the dry season, how much more wet this road is than the other roads. But now that we're out here when it's been dry and hasn't been raining, and there's still areas of some pretty good mud holes. It's just, for some reason, it just must catch a lot of water and keep it. I got one of my videos down here in front of me just a little way. Look, see, it's all wet and muddy right there. And right there, wet and muddy. Of course, it's shaded right there. But again, just the same, hasn't rained here in days. It might not have even rained here for a couple weeks. But anyway, up here in front of me where I was coming back, going eastbound, coming back from, I think this spits out right by Billie Swamp Safari. And I went up there, had a soda pop, and came back. And as I had the camera on talking, I ended up getting caught in a car rut. It was all muddy. I got caught in this car rut, and it took me right down in a ravine down on the side of the road here. All on camera. And I thought I was going to be stuck there for a while, but I was pretty surprised. I pointed the bike up and just sort of nursed it a little bit, drove right back up onto the road. Because I was about shin deep in the water and mud, but because it was kind of in the growth, and there was some growth down there, it must have gotten a little bit of traction off of the weeds and whatnot. There's a pretty good sized mud hole. Now I'll show you what I just went through on the way back. Came around a corner, and there it was, all the way across the road. 15 feet across. All right, so we get to this road and we turn right and we go up into town. These are some other areas I haven't explored. I don't know where that road goes. And here's the canal we just rode down. We're heading north. Now we're actually 050, but pretty much north by northeast. And this will take us up to Billie Swamp Safari, which I don't know if they're open today, but if they are, I might sit down for a second. Alright, so we transitioned to a paved road. And some nice houses out here. Nice places. And we should have Billie Swamp Safari right in front of us here somewhere. This is it, I believe. We shall go in. Billie Swamp Safari, turn left. Let's see if they're even open. I don't even know if they're open. Huh. Well, the gate's open. And start seeing all the huts up there where the parking is. So if we got a place to sit down, we're going to sit down or do a little texting, have some water, and I'll hook up the external battery to the camera and let's see how that works out for us. If it works good or if it starts doing odd things again. I'll keep you posted. Find a spot, my normal spot here. Right here. Pull up like I own the place. And here's my Alpinestar boots. So I got these socks now that come up higher, which help out considerably. But these are good boots. They're definitely tighter fitting than my Formas and a little stiffer, but I admittedly haven't broken them in yet. But they're today's a much better day just because of the socks. So these are the low boots. Some leather here, and up here it's using fabric. But yeah, actually I think it's just down here where it's using the leather. Everything else is the heavy fabric. But you can see how baggy it is, which doesn't bother me too much. Probably even baggy by my standards. Too. Put on some new foot pegs right here. So these are spring loaded, so you push down on them and those little spikes will come up. But the thing is these things won't eat at your boots if you're just riding. If you go to stand up, then these things will go down and you'll get the spikes and these for the times where you need the traction. When you don't need the traction, you're just on the rubber and it's not tearing your boots up. I just bought those. They're ridiculously expensive BMW things. I want to say it was about $300. Very easy to install. I mean, it took about, I don't know, 20 minutes each, 20 minutes total. Not much to it. Basically, you have a clip on the bottom of this pin down here and it slides out. They actually sold me new springs, which I don't think you needed. I think the stock springs would have done it. They got these nice bumpers here on the bottom. They're nice. And my Forma boots started taking a beating on the right side here. The sole's kind of chewed up after a couple years, which not overly surprising. Anyway, that's that. Show you my other favorite animals while I'm out here. I love this wolf. Big timber wolf, white one. There's a couple of them in here, but I like that one a lot. He's pretty nice. A little spooky. Every now and again he'll just come over here and next thing you know, you don't even realize that he's right on top of you. My bear buddy's not here today. Let's see if we can find him later. See the ducks that aren't being hunted. I see some turtles in there. There's my turtle buddies. Lots of them in the water too. And there's the other big old, let's see how you pronounce it. He's big and he's sleeping. Pronounced capybara. Oh, there's a couple. Well, I'm sitting here looking because they melt in, but if you look over by the shed there's two more. They're big. These things are probably 60, 70 pounds. And let's see what we got in here. Mostly birds, it looks like. Oh, look at that. Couldn't even see him sitting there. Just laying low. My bear buddy coming out. The otter play zone. There they are over there. And how about the fabled peccary? Look at them over there. People are feeding them. Look at them all. They think I have food because these other people have been feeding them. They just want food. There they go. And of course, from where I park my bike, I get all my buddies here. We talk a lot. All my buddy birds. Look at them all up there. We all talk. Actually, they do most of the talk and I just listen. There's the big guy down there in the barrel. Beautiful birds. These birds just really intrigue me. So pretty. Always kind of painful for me to be in the dead of summer. It's so hot down here, but the birds are fine. There's always a good breeze right here. You see another one over there in that barrel. Rummaging around, there must be some food in there. Alright, I'm going to show you how I do this battery pack for the camera. See if it behaves. So I put the charging cable, I'll go ahead and put it onto the camera here on the bottom of the helmet. And then I'll take my charging unit, and I've got some inside pockets here. This one's already open. So I'll put this in here like so. And then when I put the jacket on, I'll put my helmet on, and then this thing will be draped down on my helmet, and I'll plug it into this and then zip the jacket up, and then basically try to keep the cord as zipped up as I can, just kind of come out here at my neckline, so hardly any cord will be out. That's how I go about doing it. Alright, we'll see how the camera does on the way back. So far, turning it on and camera on seems to be okay with the external battery hooked up. I had read, I believe somewhere on RevZilla and somewhere else, that these this first generation Sena 10C isn't designed to work while it's also plugged in or charging. So we'll see how that goes. Alright, so what I wanted to show you leaving here, we could turn left and go home on the roads, but I am going to show you that giant mud hole I had to go through. And I kind of wanted to be home no later than 4 o'clock, so I was thinking about trying out one of these roads we haven't been on before. But if that road goes all the way down to, say, 41, that's a pretty good hike. We'll have to leave that for another day. It'd be nice if it did. We'll have to try it another time. So we'll go on this little paved road for a brief period, and then it's just going to turn into a dirt road. See, there's the dirt road ahead. This road just sort of ends right into a dirt road. That's it. Here we go, off-road from here on in for the next 25 miles maybe. See a vehicle down there. It sort of looks like that UTV we saw earlier. Slow down so we don't dust them up. Try to be courteous. It's like a mom and a little girl driving around, having some fun out here. Alright, so here's our canal right up ahead. We'll take our left turn and pretty much be heading eastbound. So we got some other roads. So this road in front of us is one I want to explore. Gonna put that on my list. And then the other one, probably do those both in the same run. This one and that other one that I said went southbound. I'll show you which one I'm talking about. Actually out on the main road, just as we crossed the highway, that paved highway, that one went south, and then of course we turned westbound onto the road we wanted, but if we would have continued south, I want to try that one out. So both those roads go southbound. Alright, I'm going to leave this rolling just to come up on the big mud hole that I told you. And again, I just don't even know where these mud holes are coming from. It's not raining. There's no drainage that I can see to get into it. I rounded a corner and came up on this giant mud hole up in front of us. But this whole road's nothing but giant mud holes. Here it is right here. Giant mud hole. Look, and there's nothing around here. That's the crazy part. You can see my tracks, or I just came through it. Ugh. Crazy. Crazy, crazy. Actually, I did around a corner. I was flying down this road and I came right up. I just didn't see it because it looked like a shadow and not a mud hole. That's pretty much the only big mud hole on this road, but it gives you an idea because the whole road's nothing but that when it's in the rainy season. So one other thing I wanted to say about this road right here, we're still on the east-west road, is normally when I come out here most of the year where it's either raining while I'm here or just finished raining or rain within the previous couple days or maybe even rain for several days up to the day I rode. This part of the road is definitely my most challenging part, and it's pretty long. I'm going to say it could be as long as 10 miles. I'm not exactly sure. I've never clocked it, but it's a pretty long section. And after, 20 or 30 minutes of muscling this big heavy bike through mud and water and, whatever, I just wait for this road to end. Today has been, 50 miles an hour. This is far and away the easiest that this road's ever been for me. It's a very enjoyable road today. Hardly any sand, lots of remnants where the dried up mud is, big mud holes. I mean, you come through here, I basically ride off in the weeds because these mud holes are just too big. It's right in here somewhere where I got caught in the tire track and went right down off the road to my right in those trees. That spooked me a little bit, but hey, it's part of riding out here. So it's just on a day like today, 50 miles an hour, nice and enjoyable. Not much to it. But this road is normally not like that. You ride this road, you definitely give a lot of thought about riding back on the street, not having to come back down this road. Alright, so we're coming around the corner to the south here. Going to come up on that bridge that we crossed over. Kind of, this is probably already in reservation land up here. Now you see off in the distance there, you can see the antenna that we pointed out that marks the L on the road from when we were coming out to the west. So here, I'll tell you what, let's go down this canal road and then we'll transition down by the antenna. I'll show you what I mean. There's some more ducks, lots of ducks that the duck hunters aren't getting. So what happens is you can go on this road, but then if you get down here a little ways, oh, what do we have here? I thought that was a turtle for a second. Is it a turtle? Nope, just a coconut. No, it is a turtle. It's a turtle. He's in the middle of the road. Poor guy had all of his limbs inside. Scared him, didn't mean to scare him. So I don't know how far this goes either. Another good ride for another day. But when we get up to the big antenna on the left, we're going to want to transition back to the outside road so that we can head back the way we want to go. And there's a couple places where we can do that up here. Again, one of the reasons I take the main road and don't do these transitions is because the transitions are just soaked. There's one right there. That would have been a good one. They're usually just complete mud bogs. So I don't bother with it. You can't really get over here. But right now, they're not bad. So there's our big antenna. That's our landmark right there. So there's a couple places to get over. We'll find one right here. There's another one right there, and we'll try this one here. We'll see how muddy it is first, as we keep finding mud on this trail. Oh, this looks pretty good. Pretty good. Transition right over to our main road. Hard to believe it, but this is all just complete mud. All right, nobody coming, and here we are popping right out. So we got one more. Could have got a little closer to the antenna. Right here, and popped out of this one, right in the middle of all the weeds and everything. And that's it. So we're heading back eastbound, backtracking. All right, so we're still eastbound, coming up on the north-south road. This is the one I was talking about, actually, that I was thinking about going down today. We could probably go down a little bit of it and see what we think. I can't remember if it stops. Let's go down a little bit. So this is new road for me. Let's just go down a little bit and see if it stops or if it looks like it keeps going. So we're heading 150 now, so kind of southeast. We'll just take it for, oh, that's a big bird. Just wondering what that was, big vulture. So the road was big and wide and well traveled right up to our turn. And even though this road is still pretty good, it is a fraction of the road up to our turn. So clearly it is not nearly as traveled, certainly not nearly as well kept or traveled as the road leading up to our turn behind us. So we're heading pretty much due south now. 171's be heading. Let's slow down a little bit because we got a lot of shrubs, and I have had on numerous occasions deer run out in front of me, and I mean most of the time they're out 40, 50, 60 yards in front of me, but occasionally I've had them run out. Fortunately they run alongside me, but real close to me, so I don't want that to happen. It's a little early in the day for that, but I don't need that problem back here. Right, well, we'll explore for a while here and see if we come up on a gate or anything. or if it looks like something we can maybe do some traveling on. One of these, I think the one down by Billie's Swamp I tried, and then it dead ended. It looked like it went through, but it went into something and stopped. Oh, is this going to stop right here? Let's see. Looks like it stops. Yep, it stops right here. So I have been down here before because I remember this. It just stops right here. Alright, so now we know. Coming down this road, nowhere to go. Probably could camp here. It'd be a bad camping spot. I like to use my hammock. There's really nothing in the way of trees out here. Stay off the ground. Alright. So we'll head back north to our across the Billie Josie Highway and head on back that way. Now we know. Alright, so we'll see. We just we're coming back from our dead end here, and I was going to show you where this transition into the much more traveled road, like this right here. Big old road. Now we know why. Because there wasn't anywhere to go. Okay, so here we come up on this other pump station here. And I think I heard it running earlier. I don't think I was filming. Was up on this one. There's a couple people fishing over here. Oh, it looks like some of that gate must have swung a little shut on its own or something. There's some trucks back there and trucks over here. I think I saw some people fishing down on the bank over here. I don't see them now. Yeah, I can hear you probably can't hear it, but I can hear the pump running in the station. Big diesel engine there. Uh-oh. The little guy. Oh, there's a dad over there. The little guy here. This is bait. This road right here, I have several times had the deer run out on me. Comfortable distance and all, but they come out of this left side and run towards the water side in the evening. So I don't know if they can't cross the water, I don't think. There's supposed to be more to eat down here where it's greener. They must bed down in here off the left. Those two gators right there just went down. Barely saw their eyes before they went down. Fair amount of activity on the canal. I just can't tell if it's gators or birds or whatever. Alright, I'm going to leave the camera on. I have passed, right after I turned off the camera, I passed like 4 gators in a row. Some of them there's one right there. He went down before I could get to him, but one of them just right up there on the surface. Intersection. Oh, there's one right out there in the middle. Look at that. Whoops. Skidding to a stop. Look at him. There's another one right over there to the right. It just went down. See right out there. Big one. And there was one right here that just went down. See if he comes back up. You can see him bubbling. See if he comes up. 2 of them. All right. Yeah, I've seen, oh, look at that. A lot of activity right there. Alright, we'll keep it on rolling, see if we see some more. Yeah, I said I wasn't going to see anything. Turn the camera off, and I can see it. There's one right there. Just his head, just his eyes are up. Past like 3 of them. Like that. So we'll just leave the camera on here. We can see him a little bit through these weeds. Like I said, this road's usually a really good road. Let me get up here where I take a little bit better look. There's one right there. Right over here. See his head up. Right there, he's a little one. Right there. There's one right there in the middle. Right there. Let's see, we get right up on him here. It's a little guy right there. Yeah, he's a little guy. Right here. Oh, there he went. Just went off his perch. Just didn't like hearing the motorcycle. All right, here we come back out. We're going to come through the pump station, the big one. G357. I don't see any of these pumps on. These three aren't on. Generators aren't. Oh, we got some of the hunters or something out here. Alright, we'll go across the bridge to the north side where we normally come and go from. So this is, we came in from this road right here, and we're going to go out this one here. Alright, we'll pull in here to the, we just came off the off-road, pulling back into the boat launch. We'll set everything up for road running since everything's paved from here. So when I'm in my Enduro or Enduro Pro mode, I cannot use cruise control. That's in addition to taking away from anti-lock and brakes and traction control and everything else. Does all that stuff which is good for off-road but bad for the street. So we set it up for road mode so I can take advantage of all these goodies. The windshield's up, radar detector's on, we're in road mode. We are ready to go home. See, they were all lined up, blocking the road and everything, so it must open at a certain time. Then they all go in and pick their spot. Yeah, they're all gone. Guy's fancy truck up here. I wonder if they carry their own canoes down there or whatever. Be around. Alright, well, yeah. So that was interesting. The Ranger was very nice. She told me that today's Friday, Black Friday, Fridays and Sundays, November through February, duck hunting, and only allowed 20 permits in this particular area, but if not 20 people, you got to do it all online. But if you get here, you can come out here. And if not 20 people are here, then they'll lottery right here at the gate for whoever wants to go in if there's more than 20. Otherwise, if there's less than 20 and only a few would make less than 20 going in, then no lottery, they just let you in. She said the one up further north by Lewiston, they allow 40 licenses, but she said there's never 40 people, even with the lotteries. They don't have to do the lottery because there's never 40 people total trying to get in. Guessing it's either not as good at hunting or it's just too far away for these guys. I don't know. It's a great day for it though. Beautiful day. Alright. This is Highway 27. We'll get on 27 southbound and begin the trek home. It's about a 45-mile ride for me. Here comes a motorcycle up the road behind me. Talk to you in a bit. I always miss this coming southbound. You can see it better coming north. But anyway, I'm making my left turn eastbound into this. I like this place. It's neat. Hey, you can see somebody sitting at the table. Got the canal right here. This place is all manicured up. There's another picnic table. We got a nice boat launch. It's a great place. You can't tell as much, but it's all manicured in the middle there. There's a guy with an airboat. Fishing. There's the boat launch right in front of us. And it's all manicured right up here. This is where I came in when I first got my drone. This is one of the first places that I flew it. Unfortunately, right under these power lines. I have found that my drone does not like power lines at all. It's kind of neat that people would think to come out here. It's nice and shaded. This table up here is the one that I normally sit at. But anyway, nice roadside place. You don't get too much noise. Right on the water, you get to watch people launch their boats and fish. It's pretty nice.